Imagine being the most powerful king in the world. You've conquered nations, crushed armies, and the one person you ever truly loved dies on your own sword. That's not the beginning of some villain origin story. That's the backstory of the hero. The beginning after the end just dropped season 2. And if you're coming in from the anime, you're missing half the story. The anime cut entire arcs, skipped critical power system details, and spoiled a twist that wasn't supposed to happen for hundreds of chapters. This is everything you need to know. The real story. Let's go. So here's the deal. The beginning after the end, TBATE, is one of the biggest manhwa in the world right now. Season 1 of the anime adapted roughly 53 chapters of the webtoon into just 12 episodes. And look, the anime wasn't terrible, but it was a slideshow that speedran through some of the most important world building in the entire series. If you watched season 1 and thought, that was fine, I guess, trust me, the source material hits completely different. We're talking deeper magic systems, darker backstory, and character motivations the anime basically erased. So today, we're doing a full breakdown. King Gray's tragic past life, Arthur Leywin's journey from birth to becoming the most dangerous kid on the continent. Every major arc, every key character, and most importantly, everything the anime either skipped or flat out changed. Whether you're anime only, a manhwa reader who wants a refresher, or completely new to TBATE, by the end of this video, you'll know more than 90% of the fanbase. Let's start at the very beginning, and I mean the first beginning. Before Arthur Leywin ever existed, there was King Gray. Gray grew up as an orphan in a futuristic, dystopian version of Earth. His home? A rundown orphanage in a city called Etheria. His only family? 2 other kids, his best friend, Nico Sever, and a girl named Cecilia. They were inseparable. Gray and Nico would literally rob the rich just to keep the orphanage running and protect the woman who raised them, Headmaster Wilbeck. But here's where it gets dark. Cecilia wasn't just a normal girl, she was something called the Legacy, basically a living weapon. An organization wanted to use her as a tool for power. When they tried to kidnap her, Gray and Nico fought back. But by the time they got home, the orphanage was in flames. Wilbeck was dead. That moment broke Gray. He enrolled in a military academy, trained under a mentor called Lady Vera, and slowly cut off everyone who cared about him. He became ruthless, calculated, and powerful enough to enter a tournament to become king. But here's the twist no one saw coming. During the tournament finals, Gray faced Cecilia in combat, and Cecilia, realizing she'd been manipulated her entire life, made a choice. She deliberately threw herself onto Gray's sword. She chose death over being used as a weapon. Now here's what the anime completely changed. In the original story, Gray's world didn't have mass warfare. They settled conflicts through ritualized duels between rulers, a cold, precise system. The anime turned it into generic bombings and air raids. That matters because it changes who Gray fundamentally is. He wasn't a war criminal. He was a product of a system that made killing efficient and personal. That's way darker. After Cecilia's death, Gray snapped. He destroyed an entire nation called Traden to get revenge on Lady Vera for her betrayal. Then he spent the rest of his life as a cold, emotionless king. No friends, no connections, just power. He died alone at 38. But here's the thing, and remember this detail because it becomes critical later. Gray's soul didn't just randomly get a second chance. It was extracted by the main villain of the entire series, Agrona Vritra. Agrona pulled Gray's soul across dimensions with a specific plan, to put it into a prepared body in a continent called ALLE. But that plan got intercepted by a dragon named Sylvia, who redirected Gray's soul somewhere else entirely. He wakes up as a baby. New world, new family, new name, Arthur Leywin, son of 2 retired adventurers, Reynolds and Alice. And Arthur makes a promise to himself. This time, he won't push people away. This time, he'll protect the ones he loves. The question is, can a man who ruled through blood actually keep that promise? Arthur doesn't waste time. At 2 years old, he uses his past life's knowledge of energy manipulation to start absorbing mana, and when he meditates, he doesn't just quietly awaken, he blows his family's entire house to rubble. The anime toned this way down. He just pops a hole in the ceiling. But in the manhwa, the kid literally levels the building. It's the first sign that Arthur isn't just a prodigy. He's operating on a completely different plane. Now, you might think the next step is magic school, right? Wrong. His parents decide to travel to Zyra City to find him proper training. Along the way, they're escorted by a group called the Twin Horns, their old adventuring party. But bandits ambush the group, targeting Arthur's mother Alice because she's a rare healer who's pregnant with Arthur's sister. And here's where we see the old King Gray surface. A bandit mage attacks, and Arthur, still just a kid, grabs the guy and throws both of them off a cliff. As he's falling, Arthur thinks, I can die happy knowing my mom survives. That's not a kid's thought. That's King Gray making peace with death because, for the first time in 2 lifetimes, he has someone worth dying for. But he doesn't die. He wakes up in a cave, face to face with Sylvia, the dragon who saved his soul. Sylvia becomes his mentor. She teaches him advanced mana control, but she refuses to fully train him until he confronts the darkness inside himself. She sees King Gray's rage and tells him, "That part of you has to go." Then disaster strikes. A terrifying creature tracks Sylvia down. In her final moments, she reveals her true dragon form, freezes time itself, and gives Arthur 3 gifts: her beast will, essentially her dragon power compressed into his body, a magical feather, and a mysterious glowing crystal. Then she teleports him to safety and collapses the cave on her enemy. Arthur is alone again, but now he's carrying a dragon's legacy inside him, and it's slowly killing him. His body can't handle it. He stumbles through a forest and finds an elf girl being kidnapped by slavers, fights them, wins. Turns out she's Tessia Erlith, a literal princess of the Elven Kingdom. He escorts her home, gets arrested on arrival, naturally, and is only saved when Tessia's grandfather Virion steps in. Virion is a retired king and a combat genius. He immediately recognizes that the beast will is tearing Arthur apart and offers to train him. For 3 years, Arthur trains under Virion, slowly stabilizing his body. And then, the payoff. When Arthur fully awakens the dragon's power, the shockwave triggers Sylvia's crystal to hatch. Inside, a tiny black dragon. Arthur names her Sylvie. Quick pause on the power system, because the anime butchered this. In TBATE, every mage has a mana core that progresses through colors as it purifies. Black, red, orange, yellow, silver, white. Each color has 3 substages. It's a rigorous, clearly defined system. The anime skips straight from black to yellow, just erased 2 entire tiers of progression. That matters because reaching yellow is supposed to be a massive achievement for elite adult mages, and Arthur hits it while still a kid. The anime robbed that moment of all its weight. On top of that, mages fall into 2 types: augmenters, who channel mana through their bodies for physical combat, and conjurers who manipulate ambient mana for ranged spells. Arthur, he can do both. With 4 elemental affinities, the anime made all his magic look the same. In the manhwa, each element is visually and mechanically distinct. So what does he do with all this power? Does he go to school? Not yet. First, he becomes an adventurer. Arthur reunites with his family, finally meeting his baby sister Eleanor, and moves in with the wealthy Helsty family in Xyrus City. To prove how far he's come, he spars with his own father, Reynolds, a seasoned retired adventurer. The result? A stalemate, an 8-year-old fighting a grown man to a draw using fire and water magic simultaneously. But the real showcase? That comes at an auction house. A royal magician named Sebastian spots Sylvie and tries to confiscate her by threatening Arthur's family. Bad move. Arthur drops his child act completely. He unleashes a wave of killing intent so intense it freezes the room, shatters Sebastian's leg, and projects a terrifying illusion of Sylvia's full dragon form looming over everyone. This is the scene that defines Arthur. On the outside, a polite kid. On the inside, a king who once destroyed nations, and if you threaten his family, you meet the king. This catches the attention of Cynthia Goodsky, director of Xyrus Academy. She challenges Arthur to a duel. He loses, but impresses her enough to earn a guaranteed spot at the academy. More importantly, he negotiates protection for his family while he's away, and then Arthur does something unexpected. Instead of enrolling immediately, he takes on the alias Note, puts on a mask, and registers as an adventurer at the Guild. At the Guild, he meets 2 critical characters, Lucas Wykes, an arrogant, dangerous noble who becomes a major antagonist, and Elijah Knight, a seemingly normal guy raised by dwarves. Now pay attention to Elijah. The anime cut a crucial scene where Elijah briefly sees the ghostly image of King Gray overlapping with Arthur. That's foreshadowing for one of the biggest reveals in the entire series. Elijah is actually the reincarnation of Nico Sever, Gray's childhood best friend whose life he destroyed. The anime just deleted that. Arthur passes his adventurer exam, immediately earns B rank, and slays a rampaging monster alongside his escort, Jasmine Flamesworth. The legend of the Masked Swordsman is born, and that's roughly where Season 1 ends. But here's what's coming in Season 2. Arthur heads into the Beastglades, dangerous monster-infested wilderness. He'll face an arachne that can crystallize entire villages. Tessia becomes an adventurer herself, and the whole season is building toward a massive dungeon expedition against an S-class monster called the Elderwood Guardian. The manhwa fans know what happens during that expedition, and if the anime does it justice, it changes everything. So that's TBATE, the real version. A reincarnated king running from his past, raising a dragon, and slowly building the power to protect the people he failed to protect in his first life. The anime gave you the outline, the manhwa gives you the full painting, and we haven't even talked about the Vritra, an entire clan of banished godlike beings running experiments on another continent, building an army specifically designed to invade Arthur's world. That threat is lurking beneath everything we just covered. Season 2 is going to get dark, and I'll be breaking down every single episode right here. If you want to know what the anime changes next, and trust me, they're going to change things, subscribe and hit that bell. I'm covering TBATE episode 2 tomorrow. I'll see you then.